Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. So let us continue with the endocrine system. So we shall consider the thymus. Okay, so as you all must have already come across this particular organ thymus as a part of the lymphatic system, right? So it is one of the lymphatic organ, right? So this particular thymus, it is bilobed in nature. As you can see, there are two lobes of this particular organ. So it also secretes certain hormones. So it has the endocrine functions as well. Okay, so let us consider the anatomy and the histology of the thymus first. Okay, so as we have seen that it is bilobed in nature, it comprises of two lobes and it is located in the mediastinum. Okay, so the area where the heart is located, that is the heart. Okay, so this particular organ, it appears to be located in between the two lungs. These are the lungs, right lung and the left lung. So it is located in between these two lungs. Also it is located in between the sternum and the aorta. Okay, aorta which supplies the blood throughout the body. The left ventricle, it pumps the blood in the aorta, right. So this particular thymus, it is located in between the sternum. So anterior to this gland is the sternum, so just posterior to the sternum lies the thymus, and posterior to the thymus is the aorta. Okay, and laterally the two lungs are present. Okay, now if we consider the outermost layer, the enveloping layer which is present is made up of connective tissue. So this connective tissue layer, it surrounds the entire gland, and a small portion of connective tissue known as the capsule actually separates the two lobes, the right lobe from the left lobe. Now there are certain extensions of this capsule, that is the capsule. It is composed of the connective tissue layer. Okay. So this is the outer surface of the gland which is composed of capsule. Now there are certain extensions of the capsule which are extending towards the interior of the gland. Okay, so these extensions of the capsules, these are known as trabeculae. Okay, trabeculae means little beams. Okay, so these separate the interior of this gland into several small compartments known as lobules. So within each lobe, a number of lobules, small compartments will be present which are lined by this trabeculae. So trabeculae actually divides each lobe into several smaller compartments known as the lobules. Now within each lobule, there are two distinctive areas. So that is your lobule, right, that is the one lobule as you can see. Now the outer portion, as you can see that it is deeply stained, right, this region, and the middle portion, it is lightly stained, correct. So each lobule, it is divided into two regions. The outer region will be known as cortex and the inner region will be known as medulla. So you are familiar with these terms, right, cortex and medulla. So in several organs we have come across these terms, right. Even the adrenal gland is also divided into two regions. The outer region is known as cortex and the middle layer, it is known as the medulla. So similarly, each lobule within the thymus, okay, so it is not the entire thymus which is divided into these regions. The entire thymus gland is divided into small lobules by this trabeculae, and within each lobule, the outer region which is deeply stained, that is known as cortex, and the middle region is known as the medulla. So let us see what this cortex is composed of. Okay, so outer region, that is the cortex, it comprises mainly of four types of cells. So a large number of T cells will be present. T cells What are T cells? Yes, these are the cells which are involved in the immunity, right? WBCs, a type of WBCs. Okay, and a few dendritic cells will be present. Third type of cell is epithelial cell, and the fourth type of cell is macrophages. So coming to the T cells. Now these T cells which are present in the cortex of the lobule, these are actually immature T cells, or you can say that these are pre-T cells. And where does these T cells come from? Actually the T cells, they are formed in the red bone marrow, right? Your formed elements, these are synthesized in the red bone marrow, right? So from the red bone marrow they will migrate to the cortex. So they are still immature, right? They are not completely mature. So these immature T cells or pre-T cells will enter the cortex of the thymus. So it is in the cortex of the thymus that the maturation, proliferation and maturation of the T cells will take place. Then the next type of cells is dendritic cells. Dendron means a tree. Remember the dendrites, these are the processes, the small processes which are extending from the cell bodies of the neurons. So these dendritic cells also have similar type of processes, okay, branched projections. So these resemble the dendrites of the neuron. Okay, so that's why these are known as dendritic cells. So these cells, what is the role of these dendritic cells? They help in the maturation process of the T cells. Okay, also they have an important role in the immune responses as well. Okay, then the third type of cell is the epithelial cell. Now these epithelial cells, these are specialized epithelial cells which are present over here. They have several long processes which are extending from their wall or their membrane. So these processes can surround and form a framework around, say, round about 50 T cells. So it can accommodate the 50 T cells within this. Okay, and what is the function of these epithelial cells? To educate the pre-T cells in the process known as positive selection. So you must be aware of what is positive selection. So this process helps in identification of certain structures because of which these pre-cells survive. Otherwise what happens? These T cells which are immature, mostly they undergo apoptosis. They are destroyed. Okay, but due to this positive selection, it retains the activity and it prevents the apoptosis of such T cells. Okay, now apart from this, the epithelial cells also produce the thymic hormones. So these hormones help in the maturation of the T cells. Okay, so overall what do we understand? That the T cells which are present in this cortex, these are immature in nature and most of them undergo apoptosis, that is programmed cell death, that is they are destroyed, and only about 2% of these developing T cells can survive in the cortex. Rest all are removed. Okay, they undergo cell death. Okay, then the fourth type of cell is macrophages. Now what is the role of macrophages? These are phagocytes, right? So they will remove all the waste material, right? Debris of the death and dying cells. The cells are dying, right? T cells are dying by the process of apoptosis. So the debris of the dead and the dying cells needs to be removed out. So that is carried out by the macrophages. Okay. Now whatever T cells survive, as we have seen, only 2% of the T cells will survive. So whatever T cells are surviving in this region, they will start entering the medulla, that is the inner region of the lobule. So what does this medulla consist of? So it will comprise of now mature T cells, right? So more mature T cells you can say, not completely mature cells. So as you can see that a number of T cells are present over here. Interspersed in between them are the epithelial cells, dendritic cells and the macrophages. Now within the medulla, some of these epithelial cells, the role of all the cells remain the same, but additionally these epithelial cells, they became arranged in the concentric layers, concentric layers form. Okay, so they form a structure called as the thymic corpuscles or Hessel's corpuscle. So these epithelial cells are arranged in the concentric layer and it becomes filled with this keratohyalin granules and keratin. So this is the one. This is the thymic corpuscle or the Hessel's corpuscle. Now the exact role of this thymic corpuscle is not known, it is not sure about, but they may aid in the cell death, that is T cell death. The T cells, they die, right, they undergo apoptosis, so they aid in the cell death. Okay. Now whatever T cells survive which undergo maturation, they will leave the thymus, enter into the blood. From here they will enter into the lymph nodes, spleen and other lymphatic tissues. So it will start entering into other lymphatic tissues and they will colonize, they will start growing in these tissues. Okay. So what will happen to the thymus now? We have seen that thymus, it comprises of pre-T cells which undergo the process of maturation, but as they undergo maturation, what happens? The T cells are leaving the gland, right? So usually it is reddish in appearance, okay, because of high content of the lymphoid tissue and they are richly supplied by blood. But slowly what will happen? In the infants it is round about 70 grams, but what is happening in the gland? What did I tell you? Yes, slowly the T cells are leaving the gland and the lymphoid tissue, it is replaced by the fatty infiltrations. Okay, so due to these fatty infiltrations, it looks like the size of the gland is reduced, but actually the size of the thymus does not change. It is just getting replaced, okay, by the fatty infiltrations, or fats is replacing the lymphoid tissue. Okay. So because of this apoptosis, that is the cell death, and whatever T cells are formed, they are leaving. So as the child grows, most of the thymic tissue, it is replaced by the adipose and the areolar connective tissue. So by the time the person reaches the maturity, the functional portion of the thymus is very much reduced and the weight of this particular gland is just 3 grams in the older age. So what happens as the age progresses? What happens to the thymus? The thymus atrophies, that is wasting takes place because the cell death is taking place, right? So a lot of T cells are leaving this thymus and they are actually entering into the secondary lymphatic organs and tissues where they will colonize and they will proliferate. Okay, but as the age progresses, a very few number of T cells will remain in the thymus. Okay, they will continue to proliferate for the lifetime, but the number goes on decreasing with the age. So as the age progresses, the lymphoid tissue within the thymus gland, that is going on reducing. So the functional portion is going on reducing. Okay. Now the function of this thymus, okay, as an endocrine gland, it produces 4 types of hormones, that is thymosin, thymic humoral factor THF, thymic factor, that is TF, and thymopoietin. These are the 4 hormones which are produced by the epithelial cells, right? What is the role of these hormones? They promote the maturation of the T cells. So they help in maturation of the T cells, also retard the aging process. Okay, so this is to do with the thymus gland. This is the reference. Thank you for watching.